Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Science 6 Week 1 for school year 2026-2027. This is Sir Roland. Okay, so welcome to this science way of learning. We are going to learn Science 6, the easy way, the best way, and the most exciting way later on. So once again, welcome to Science 6. We are now observing the three-term budget of work or the BAU for learning competencies for school year 2026-2027. So for grade 6, we have here the budget of work for weeks 1, 2, and week 3, weeks of 4 to 6, and so on. For this week, our content standard is diagrams and the flowcharts demonstrate processes involving heat energy and changes of state. For performance task, so we'll be dealing all about the use of diagrams and flowcharts to describe changes of state. Okay, now we all know all about diagrams, flowcharts, processes of changes of state. Okay, so if you're going to Google it, okay, so Google will provide us different ways on how to present diagrams and flowcharts. Now, welcome once again to week 1, our objectives. Okay, so we have to describe changes of state for solids, liquids, and gases as melting, evaporation, freezing, condensation using diagrams and the flowcharts. Second, we need to explain the role of heat energy in change of state processes. So once again, welcome to week 1. Don't forget for our class rules. Okay, so sometimes we need to, or most of the time, or all of the time, before we have to conduct activities, we need to set our class rules first. Now for key stage 1 or key stage 2, you can use this one. Okay, so as part of the review, okay, so you may introduce this to your learners. What comes to mind when you see this image? Okay, can you share your thoughts? Okay, so when you see this image, okay, so of course, when you see this image, you will always uh, come to answer on the states of matter or simply matter. Okay, so what is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Okay, matter. Okay, don't forget. Okay, so as part of the creation of God, matter has properties. It has color, odor, taste, texture, density. Okay, so boiling point and melting point, and so many other characteristics or properties. Okay, so matter is classified into using this flow chart. Okay, so we have here matter can be classified into a pure substance or a mixtures. Okay, so as a pure substance, okay, so learners might encounter elements and compounds. Elements are very common. Okay, when we breathe in and breathe out. Okay, the exchange of gases. Okay, so there are uh, oxygen, nitrogen, and if it is in a compound form, okay, then we can have the O2, N2, and so on. Okay, now for the compounds, usually the most common compounds that we have in our house are the muriatic acid, the water. Okay, so those are examples of compounds and mixtures. Okay, we have halo-halo. Okay, so and it can either be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Homogeneous, as for example, for the milk. Okay, so the milk of the kids. And for heterogeneous, we have the halo-halo that the vendors are selling on the street or at the store. Every learner should recall the elements, compounds, and mixtures they encounter every day life. So, as I have said, the air we breathe contains gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and muriatic acid is a chemical commonly used for cleaning toilet bowl. So let's go back with the picture. We have here the states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, the characteristics. Okay, so these have been discussed in your Grade grade of 5. Okay, solid. It's rigid. Okay, so it's rigid when you tap a table. It's rigid. It does not change its shape easily because it has a fixed shape and it has a fixed volume. For liquid, it's not rigid, no fixed shape, but it has a fixed volume. Okay, for gases, okay, so it's not rigid. Okay, so there's no fixed shape and no fixed volume. Okay, so you can view here the simulation about the particles of solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, just click the link below. So here's the link. Okay, so you can click the link once I forwarded to you the PowerPoint. Okay, so once you downloaded it, you can press it. Alternatively, you can sing this song also for the States of Matter. Okay, so we have here the States of Matter song. States of matter are solid, liquid, gas. The states of matter are solid, liquid, gas. The states of matter are solid, liquid, gas. Solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. Okay, you can complete that song. Okay, so according to the song, matter is composed of solid, liquid, and gas plus the plasma. The plasma is just an ionized gas. Okay, so when a gas is ionized, then it's already a plasma. Okay, so for the recall, okay, teaching variation for this, okay, you can have the cutouts of this picture. Okay, so the learners will group these pictures into three, as either solid, liquid, or gas. They have to paste it on the board. Okay, and have it categorized as solid, liquid, or gas. Okay, just like this one. And the answer is this one. Okay, you can also use the play clay. Okay, so as a teacher, okay, so as a review, you can ask them to mold a solid, liquid, and gas using the play clay or the modeling clay. Now let's move on to the topic, the major topic, the changes state of matter. Don't forget, I'll be sending you this PowerPoint if you need. Okay, just comment matter, and I will be sending this PowerPoint to you if you want. Okay, so now in starting a lesson, you need to unlock the difficulties of those words that the learners might encounter. Okay, so we have here the identification with a twist. Okay, so now we have here a picture. Okay, and they need to identify the following questions. They need to give the answers. Let's start with number one. Okay, so blank is the process in which a liquid changes into a solid when it is removed. Okay, so the change here is liquid changes into a solid. Okay, so that's for number one. Number two, okay, it is the process in which a solid changes into a liquid. Solid changes to a liquid. Okay, so actually you can choose your answers from okay the pictures or content at the side. Okay, number three. Okay, so we have here is the process in which a liquid changes into a gas when heat is added. Okay, four. Blank is the process in which a gas changes into a liquid when heat is removed. Okay, five is the process in which a solid changes directly into a gas without becoming a liquid first. Okay, the solid directly to gas. Okay, so you can answer that. Okay, six, blank is the process in which a gas changes directly into a solid without becoming a liquid first. Okay, so and here are the six questions. And the answers to this, we have here this one. Ta-da! Okay, so now in introducing, okay, so these processes, okay, so we can use the triangle diagram. Okay, we can use this one. Now, this is a very easy way on how to make the understanding of the different states of matter. Okay, so the processes behind these three states of matter. Now, okay, so now the parts of the arrow, take note that that arrow has this one, the arrowhead, and this one, the starting part of the arrow, then the arrowhead. Now the arrowhead points to the changes. Okay, solid changes to a liquid. Now what process is that? Okay, what change of matter is that? Okay, it's a melting. Okay, when a solid changes to liquid, then vice versa. When a liquid changes to gas, so we have here the freezing. Okay, then liquid changes to gases. Okay, so using this arrowhead. Okay, so liquid changes to gas. Okay, that's evaporation, the process. Then in reverse, okay, when a gas changes to liquid, then it is a condensation. That is why there are clouds, okay, present on top. Then when a gas, okay, changes, okay, to solid, okay, so we call it as deposition. And in reverse, solid, okay, changes directly to gas. Okay, so it's the process here is sublimation. Okay, so now all of those changes, of course, is being governed by the heat energy. Okay, so what is that heat energy? Heat energy is a form of energy that travels from one point of a medium to the other due to the temperature difference. Okay, the word there is temperature. Temperature, we have three syllables, temperature. Okay, so you pronounce it as temperature. You can consult the dictionary or the talking dictionary to confirm the pronunciation. Now, heat energy is energy that causes particles of matter to move faster or slower. Okay, so if the energy is high, then the particles move faster. And if the energy is it's not that high, then the particles or the molecules of a matter, okay, move slowly. Okay, so heat energy is the internal energy of moving atoms and molecules within a substance. It is transferred spontaneously from areas of higher temperature to areas of lower temperature. The transfer of this energy is what we commonly refer to as heat. Okay, so now what is heat and temperature? Okay, when we speak of heat, it is the transfer of thermal energy from a body with a hotter temperature to one with a colder temperature. That's all about heat. Okay, so temperature is the measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles. So the greater the heat energy, of course, the greater the temperature, the greater the heat energy. Okay, that's directly proportional. Okay, so when heat is added, particles move faster. Matter may melt or evaporate. When heat is removed, particles move slower. Matter may freeze or condense. Key idea is that let the students know or let the learners know that adding heat, particles move faster. Removing heat, particles move slower. Okay, once again, this is our triangle. Okay, so let's go deep. Okay, let's discuss one by one what is all about melting. Okay, in relation to the heat energy. Okay, melting is the process in which a solid changes into a liquid when heat is added. Okay, so this is all about melting. The common example here, okay, where the ice is undergoing melting. Okay, so in melting, what happens to the particles? Particles gain heat energy, they move faster, they spread farther apart, and the solid becomes a liquid. That's for melting. So in this case, okay, so you can group learners and ask them to write readings that undergo on this process after the discussion of concepts. Okay, so you need to discuss first the concepts, and after that, okay, you can allow your learners to enumerate, okay, three things or processes, or three phenomenon or anything, okay, that undergo the process of the given process. Okay, just three everyday examples only. Sample answers can be here for melting. Okay, there's one ice cream melting, okay, butter melting, candle wax. melting. So these answers should be elicited from the learners. But these are just examples. The learners can have a variation of answers. Okay, next one we have freezing. Okay, what is freezing? The process in which a liquid changes into a solid when heat is removed. Okay, so we have the freezing in our freezer. We usually have this one. Okay, then freezing. What happens to the particles? Particles lose heat energy. They move more slowly. They become closely packed. The liquid becomes a solid. Okay, that's all about freezing. Okay, so in our everyday activities, okay, so we have here the water becomes ice cube, ice puffs freezing, frozen food hardening. Another one, we have evaporation. Okay, so evaporation is a process in which a liquid changes into a gas when heat is added. Okay, so that's for evaporation. What happens to the particles? Particles gain heat energy, they move faster, they spread far apart. That's for evaporation. The liquid becomes a gas. Common examples, we have here this one, wet clothes drying, puddles disappearing, and boiling water producing steam. That's for evaporation. Condensation, we have here this one, is the process in which a gas changes into a liquid when heat is removed. Okay, and condensation, what happens to the particles? Particles lose heat energy, they move slower. Okay, they come closer together, the gas becomes a liquid. And that's the reason why we have what? Why we have the clouds. It's all about condensation and more. Okay, so examples of condensation, okay, happening in our everyday lives, we have water droplets on a cold glass. That's part of condensation, products of condensation, dew on grass, clouds forming in the sky. Okay, for sublimation, we have this one process in which a solid changes directly into a gas without becoming a liquid first. Ayan. Okay, that is a solid directly to gas. There, that's the examples. We have here this one. For sublimation, particles gain a large amount of heat energy. They move very fast. The solid changes directly into a gas. Sublimation, common examples. We have here the dry ice changes directly into carbon dioxide. Mothballs, naphthalene slowly disappears. They change into a gas. Then the freshener. Okay, from a solid directly to gas later on. Uh, it paved the way for a very good smelling room and so on. Okay, so next one we have the deposition. Is the process in which a gas changes directly into a solid without becoming a liquid first. Okay, that's directly gas into a solid. In deposition, what happens? The particles lose heat energy, they move more slowly. The gas changes directly into a solid. In deposition, we have common examples here. Okay, and snowflakes. Okay, now so for evaluation, we can let our learners answer this one. Ice cream turning into liquid, water becoming ice cubes, wet clothes drying under the sun, water droplets forming outside the cold bottle, mothballs turning into gas. The answer key, we have here this one. Ways forward, you can let your learners answer this one. Okay, the investigation that matters. Okay, learning competency. We have describe and explain changes of state of matter and so on, etc. Performance learners will identify and observe examples of changes of state of matter at home, in school, or in their community. They will document their observations and explain the role of heat energy in each change. Okay, so they can do this by group or by individual. Okay, so what they can do is observe at least four examples of changes of state of matter, take photos, draw illustrations, or create simple diagrams of each example. Complete the observation table. Explain whether heat is gained or lost during the change. Then present findings through a poster, scrapbook, science journal, or digital presentation. Okay, so ways forward example here. The learners can answer just like this one. Okay, so they need to answer the guide questions and the number 5 for a reflection. It's scoring rubrics. Okay, so they can be graded. This one, 5 points each. Okay, to get the final grade, it's just be multiplied by 5. Disclaimer: the photos, illustrations, diagrams, and other visual materials included in this presentation are the property of the respective owners. These materials are used for educational purposes only. Mr. Barcelon does not claim ownership, authorship, or originality of any copyrighted content not created by him. Thank you so much, and God bless us all. Always remember, a good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. Okay, that's a teacher. God bless us all.